Okay, let's be real. Have you ever, stared at a carton of eggs in the supermarket, just totally bewildered by stat?
Or, maybe clicked buy now online
Right.
and then immediately thought, oh no, the packaging mountain that's about to arrive.
Exactly. Or even just, sipping a cup of tea and wondering, is this actually okay for me?
Those everyday moments, right?
Yeah.
What we buy, how we buy it, how it impacts our health, the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all changing, constantly evolving.
Absolutely. And that's precisely what we're digging into today. We've got this stack of sources here. It's news commentary from Consumers 360.
And it's based on the consumers.app website, which aggregated news from June 6th, 2025.
So our mission basically is to cut through all the noise, pull out the really important bits of knowledge, the key insights from this material.
Yeah, help you get informed quickly and, thoroughly on some recent consumer trends and actually some quite surprising findings.
I really love how these sources connect things that seem kind of unrelated, like your grocery bill, your online shopping habits, even your morning tea ritual.
It all paints a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How technology, new research, shifting values, they're all reshaping things for us as consumers.
Totally. So let's unpack this stack. Okay, let's start with that grocery store moment.
Yeah.
There was this headline from Consumer Affairs that really jumped out. Grocery prices continued to trend lower in May. Lower prices? Seriously?
Well, yes. Tell me more indeed. What did the consumers' research findings say was driving that?
It's actually pretty interesting because, the research confirms it. May 2025 did see grocery prices trend down. Specifically, it was 1.2% lower than April.
Okay.
And 2.5% down compared to the year before. And when you look closer, some specific items saw really big drops. Fresh veggies were down, 2.9%.
2.9. Okay. But what about the eggs? I feel like eggs are always the poster child for price swings.
Ah, the eggs, yes. What was the story there?
Well, according to the Consumers Research Q&A on this, eggs saw a huge decrease, 12.7% just in May.
12.7%. Wow.
Yeah, it's not just a little dip. Yeah. The research actually noted this was the single biggest monthly drop for eggs since, get this, March 1984.
1984, that's ages ago. Quite the anomaly then, considering all the price volatility we've seen lately.
Exactly.
So, okay, falling prices, at least for some things, that's one part. But what about tech? What role is technology playing in supermarkets right now? Because stores feel like they're changing super fast.
Oh, definitely. That's a really key theme the research picked up on. Supermarkets are heavily leaning into technology in 2025. We're seeing way more automation, more robotics.
Like what specifically?
Well, things like AI-powered shopping assistants, automated checkouts are becoming more common, obviously. But also stuff happening, behind the scenes. Robotic stockers, for instance.
Robotic stocker. Okay, I'm picturing little robots whizzing down the aisles, putting cereal on shelves. Is that it?
Pretty much. But the purpose isn't just like the novelty factor.
Hey.
The research makes it clear the goal is complex, boosting efficiency, obviously, but also improving the customer experience, offering more convenience, enabling personalization. It's all aimed at making shopping, smoother, more streamlined.
Right. And that tech shift, it also ties into how prices are set, doesn't it? The sources mention something called robust price optimization. Sounds kind of technical. How's that different from just figuring out a price?
It's a big step up from traditional, often sort of fixed pricing. Robust price optimization is, it's more sophisticated. Instead of just aiming for average revenue, it's designed to maximize the worst case revenue. It takes into account uncertainty, like unpredictable consumer demand. It even uses things like randomized pricing sometimes.
Randomized pricing, okay.
Yeah, to stay agile. And the research pointed to a specific finding. This method showed potential for up to a 92% increase in worst case revenue in simulations for grocery stores.
92%. In the worst case, that seems huge for retailers. Is that the same as dynamic pricing, like surge pricing we see elsewhere?
They're related. Both involve price flexibility, but they work a bit differently. Dynamic pricing or surge pricing usually adjusts prices right now based on immediate demand, right?
Right.
Think Uber during rush hour.
Okay.
In groceries, maybe it's used to get people shopping at off-peak times or manage inventory that's about to expire. But the research does flag a potential issue, how customers see it.
Ah, yeah.
Dynamic pricing can sometimes feel like price gouging, which could damage trust if they're not careful with how they implement it.
That makes sense. Fascinating how these complex algorithms are behind the price tags. So beyond tech and pricing, what other big trends are shaping groceries in 2025, according to the research?
A few key things stand out. Consumers are really focused on value and health. They want, more bang for their buck, but also healthier stuff.
Right.
We're also seeing more M&A activity, mergers and acquisitions, and just a broader strategic shift towards sustainability and using tech across the whole operation.
Mm-hmm. And that ties back to health. Like, people wanting healthier options means more demand for fruits and veggies, which impacts supply and price.
Precisely. That rising demand for fresh produce is definitely shaping what supermarkets offer and how they price it.
Yeah.
The research mentioned USDA predictions, too. They expect maybe a 2% overall rise in food prices, but only about a 0.7% rise for food at home specifically. So it suggests that while inflation is still a factor, things like changing tastes and tech efficiencies are really mixing things up in the grocery aisle.
It really shows how everything from, like, my personal health goals to some AI algorithm can affect the cost of lettuce. Makes you think about what's going on behind the scenes when you're just grabbing dinner stuff. Okay, speaking of behind the scenes, let's shift from the physical store to online. Clicking add to cart. We all do it. There's a headline here from USA Today on MSN.com suggesting small changes can make online shopping even more eco-friendly. What simple steps did consumers' research find?
Yeah, these are things you can actually do. The research highlights consolidating orders, group items together, fewer shipments.
Makes sense.
Choosing slower shipping helps too. Gives retailers flexibility for efficient routes, packing things together, and importantly, trying to avoid frequent returns.
Returns, yeah.
Because sending stuff back reverse logistics has a big environmental footprint.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, maybe choosing retailers who actually focus on sustainable packaging or offer carbon offsets.
Okay, consolidating, slow shipping, fewer returns. Those seem straightforward. What about those specific eco-friendly marketplaces? Do they help?
They definitely do. The research mentions this. They basically do the vetting for you, right? They curate products and brands that meet certain ethical or eco-friendly standards, sustainable materials, low-impact production, that sort of thing.
So they make it easier to find stuff aligned with your values.
Exactly. Earth Hero was mentioned as one example. They even have zero waste sections, make sustainable choices more accessible.
That is helpful, someone doing the filtering. Now, the sources also mentioned tech again. Using machine learning to understand online shopping demand. How does that help the environment?
Right. This is where the back-end tech really connects to being greener. There's a study mentioned modeling household online shopping demand using machine learning. Basically, it tries to understand how we shop online.
Okay.
The goal is prediction. If retailers can accurately forecast demand, they can seriously optimize their logistics, warehouse stuff, delivery schedules, everything. Better optimization means less waste, fewer resources used.
Got it. So knowing where stuff needs to go and when reduces wasted trips. Makes sense. And what about 3D virtual environments? That sounds a bit sci-fi for reducing packaging.
Yeah, it's a cool application, though. The research suggests these 3D environments give you a much better feel for a product online compared to just flat pictures.
Like see it from all angles.
Exactly. Or even virtually placing furniture in your room. This leads to more informed decisions before you buy. And better decisions mean fewer surprises when it arrives.
Which means fewer returns.
Precisely. And like we said, returns are environmentally costly.
Yeah.
Transport, repackaging. Plus, you can browse virtually across different stores more efficiently.
Huh. So if I can really see if that couch fits virtually, I'm less likely to send it back.
Smart. What about our friends? Do their shopping habits influence us online?
Oh, absolutely. Peer effects, herd behavior. It's powerful. When you see people choosing sustainable options or talking about consolidating orders, it makes it seem normal, right?
Yeah, true.
This social nudge can actually boost overall demand for eco-friendly choices, which tells retailers, hey, people want this, encouraging them to adopt more sustainable practices.
It's cool that our individual choices, nudged by friends, can ripple outwards like that. So it's not just simple habits, it's machine learning, 3D views, social influence, tech and community working together. They're really interconnected. That machine learning isn't just predicting what you buy, but optimizing how it gets to you, routes, inventory, enabling those consolidated shipments, all cutting the carbon footprint per delivery. Yeah. It's tech supporting sustainability all along the chain.
Definitely adds a new layer to just hearing the doorbell ring for a package.
Yeah.
All right, let's pivot from shopping to things we actually put in our bodies. This headline from Soy Carm on MSN.com asks, Peel Power. Why adding more bananas to your diet could positively impact your blood pressure. Okay, bananas and blood pressure. Is that old wisdom actually backed up?
According to the consumer's research findings here, yes, there's solid science behind it. bananas get highlighted for being really rich in potassium.
Potassium, right.
And potassium basically acts as a counterbalance to sodium in your body. Too much sodium is a big driver of high blood pressure, right?
Mm-hmm.
So getting enough potassium helps your body get rid of that extra sodium, which then helps manage blood pressure.
Yeah. Okay, balancing the sodium scales. What else does potassium do? Is it just about blood pressure?
No, it's essential. Potassium is a key electrolyte. It helps regulate fluid balance all through your body. It's vital for muscle contractions, nerve signals. The research also points out it might help reduce stroke risk, maybe even help prevent things like osteoporosis and kidney stones.
Wow, that's a lot for one mineral.
It is. And the kicker, the research notes, many people just don't get enough potassium daily.
Okay, so besides bananas, which are easy, what other good potassium sources did the research mention?
Bananas are convenient, sure, but the sources listed quite a few others. Lentils, potatoes, spinach, other leafy greens, legumes, nuts, seeds, even fatty fish like salmon. Getting a mix is good for overall nutrients too.
Good variety. Now, what about calories? Bananas have sugar. If someone's managing weight, also key for blood pressure, how does that fit?
That's a really important point, and the research covers moderation. Bananas are nutritious, yeah, but they do have calories, carbs, so it's about portion control, fitting them into a balanced diet. Eating tons of them without thinking about the calories could make weight management harder. And maintaining a healthy weight is absolutely crucial for blood pressure control. So use them wisely.
Makes sense. What does the latest research specifically say about potassium's impact? Did the sources cite anything recent?
Yeah, recent research strongly backs the idea of increasing dietary potassium while also limiting sodium. Studies cited show that boosting potassium-rich foods, like bananas, has a significant positive effect.
More than just cutting sodium.
Well, some research actually suggests adding potassium might be even more impactful for some people than just reducing sodium alone. Really shows the power of adding nutrient-dense foods.
Interesting. And I guess like any diet change for health, talking to a doctor is crucial.
Absolutely, that's stressed in the findings. While more potassium is generally good, needs vary. And crucially, if you're on blood pressure meds or have kidney issues, too much potassium could be a problem or interact badly.
Good point.
So always check with your healthcare provider first. Make sure it's safe and right for your situation.
So bananas fit well into bigger dietary plans for heart health then?
They do. Adding bananas and other potassium foods aligns perfectly with things like the DHH diets, dietary approaches to stop hypertension. That whole approach emphasizes fruits, veggies, low-fat dairy, all naturally boosting potassium to help control blood pressure.
So solid science behind that peel power. Good to know a banana is doing more than just giving quick energy. All right, shifting slightly again health-wise. This next headline from Rolling Out asks a really direct question. Can Moringa Powder actually replace your daily multivitamin? That sounds like a big claim. What did the Consumers Research Q&A find comparing Moringa to multis?
This is where Moringa looks pretty impressive based on these sources. If you compare it nutrient by nutrient like weight for weight, Moringa is incredibly dense.
How dense?
Well, the research mentions stuff like more vitamin C than oranges, more calcium than milk, more vitamin A than carrots, and even more potassium than bananas per unit.
Whoa, okay, those are big comparisons. So it's packed with nutrients. But quantity is one thing. Can your body actually use them well?
Right, that's bioavailability, how well your body absorbs nutrients. And the sources suggest that the nutrients naturally in Moringa are generally seen as more bioavailable than the synthetic vitamins often used in standard multivitamins.
Why is that?
The thinking is that the natural structures might just be better recognized and processed by our bodies.
Okay, so potentially more nutrients and maybe better absorption. The sources also mention research on putting moringa in food.
Yeah, that was interesting. A reference to a study in Food Science and Nutrition. They fortified Nigerian wheat bread with moringa powder.
Yeah.
The results were pretty positive. It significantly boosted the bread's nutrition, more minerals like calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc. It also upped the antioxidants and even lowered the glycemic index in the rats they tested. Shows potential for fighting nutrient gaps by adding it to staples.
That's a really practical idea, especially globally. But back to the main question. Can it completely replace a multivitamin?
This is where the nuance comes in, according to the research. While moringa is super nutrient-rich, it might not hit the perfect levels or the full range of every single vitamin and mineral for everyone.
Like if you have specific needs.
Exactly. Think vegans needing reliable B12 or people with specific medical conditions affecting absorption. So The expert view leans more towards a hybrid approach.
Hybrid.
Yeah, use moringa as a strong nutritional foundation because it's broad and bioavailable, but then add specific supplements if you know you have gaps or higher needs based on your diet or doctor's advice.
Got it. So, like a nutritional supercharger, not necessarily a total replacement. It's also used in traditional medicine, right?
That's right. Moringa oleifera has a long history, especially where it grows naturally. It's valued for its dense nutrition and bioactive compounds, traditionally used for immunity, digestion, anti-inflammation, just general well-being.
If someone's thinking about trying moringa powder, what should they look for? Any tips from the research?
A couple of key things. Quality matters, where it's sourced, how it's processed affects nutrient levels and purity. Look for reputable brands.
Okay.
And also consider your own needs and health status. And as always with supplements or big diet changes, talking to a healthcare provider is smart. Make sure it's safe and suitable for you, especially if you're on meds.
Sounds like it has huge potential, though, especially that point about helping with malnutrition.
It really does. High nutrient density, plus the plant is fairly easy and sustainable to grow. That makes moringa powder a really promising, cost-effective tool for tackling malnutrition globally, especially where diets lack critical nutrients.
Definitely learned something new about moringa there. Maybe a scoop in the smoothie is worth thinking about. All right, final topic in our deep dive today, and this one, well, it's maybe a question you've secretly wondered about your tea. Headline from Verywell Health on MSN.com asks straight up, does green tea make you poop? Let's just get to it. What did consumers' research find? Does it?
It's a fair question. And yes, based on the research, green tea can have that effect, mostly because of the caffeine.
The caffeine again.
Yeah, caffeine is a stimulant, right? Not just for your brain, but it can also stimulate muscles in your digestive tract. It can relax the colon muscles, which helps move things along. So yeah, it can stimulate bowel movements, help with regularity, maybe mild constipation. But big caveat, the response really varies person to person.
Right, like how coffee affects people differently. Anything else in green tea helping digestion besides the caffeine kick?
Yes, definitely. Green tea is packed with antioxidants, especially catechins. These help digestion in a few ways. They're anti-inflammatory, which can soothe the gut. They also support the good bacteria in your gut, helping your microbiome. And a healthy microbiome is key for good metabolism and digestion overall.
Okay. Any downsides? Could it upset your stomach?
That's possible for some people, the research notes. Drinking it, especially on an empty stomach, might cause a bit of discomfort or nausea, usually blamed on tannins in the tea, which can increase stomach acid.
Tannins. Okay. So maybe have it with food.
Might help, yeah. Timing can matter.
Now, the sources mentioned something about zinc in green tea. How does zinc fit with digestion?
That connection was a bit indirect in the research cited. Studies looked at zinc-enriched green tea adding zinc while the plant grows. They found it improved the tea leaf quality, like aroma and taste.
So better tea.
Yeah. And while zinc is important for lots of things, including metabolism, the research focus was more on how adding zinc to the plant improved the tea itself, which, indirectly might support digestive comfort because it's just a better quality brew.
Okay, so better tea might feel better, even if zinc isn't the main digestive hero there.
Yeah.
Got it. Is green tea considered a prebiotic? Does it feed gut bacteria?
Yes. Based on the research, it does function like one. Prebiotics feed the good bacteria, right? Green tea's polyphenols and antioxidants seem to encourage the growth of these healthy gut microbes.
Okay.
So that prebiotic effect, plus the anti-inflammatory stuff, suggests it helps support a balanced, healthy microbiome.
That ties back to the gut health benefits. What about stress? Can green tea help if digestion issues are stress-related?
That's another interesting angle. Green tea contains L-theanine. It's an amino acid known for calming effects.
Calming?
Yeah, promotes relaxation, but without making you drowsy. Since stress is a huge trigger for digestive upset for many people think IBS,
right.
The L-theanine in green tea could potentially help soothe the digestive system by reducing that stress response.
So it's not just stimulating things, it's calming them too. Seems like green tea works on digestion in a few different ways.
Exactly. And one last point the research mentioned, combining it with other things can boost benefits, like adding peppermint.
Peppermint tea is common for digestion.
Right, because peppermint has antispasmodic properties.
Yeah.
It can help ease discomfort, bloating, and just complement what the green tea is doing.
Fascinating. From the caffeine jolt to calming L-theanine and feeding good gut bugs, definitely more going on in that cup than I thought. Wow. Okay, we've really covered some ground in this deep dive, haven't we? From the surprisingly complex world of grocery prices and all that tech.
Yeah, robotic stalkers.
Right, to how we can make online shopping a bit greener with simple habits, but also really sophisticated tech.
And then digging into health bananas for blood pressure, the sheer nutritional power of Moringa powder.
Yeah, Moringa was a surprise. And finally, understanding all the different ways green tea interacts with our digestion.
It really highlights how connected everything is, doesn't it? Our choices as consumers, the technology shaping industries, our own well-being.
Totally.
The insights from all these different headlines show that being an informed consumer now means looking, beyond just the surface, understanding the systems, the research, and how it all impacts us and the world.
It's definitely not simple, but hopefully this deep dive gave you some valuable nuggets to chew on.
Thank you all for joining us for this exploration of the Consumers 360 news commentary, which was based on the Consumers.app aggregation service from June 6, 2025.
Yeah, thanks for listening. And we really encourage you to like, share, and subscribe to Consumers 360. They update it on the latest inputs.
And then maybe a final thought to leave you with. As technology keeps weaving deeper into our daily lives, from those robots in the store to AI optimizing deliveries, how else might our most routine shopping transform in ways we maybe can't even imagine yet? Something to ponder.